The moment you open your mouth to explain your choices, your mistakes, or your lifestyle to another human being, you have unconsciously handed them the keys to your kingdom. You have given them the ultimate power to judge you, to validate you, or to reject you. Look around you. Weak, insecure individuals are constantly talking. They are justifying why they bought a certain car, why they left a specific job, or why they couldn't show up to an event. They are terrified of being misunderstood because their entire identity is built on public approval. But high-status men operate on a completely different frequency. They don't ask for permission, they don't look for applause, and they certainly do not give excuses. Their actions are absolute, and their silence does the heavy lifting. Today we break down the brutal psychology of no explanation and the 4 definitive signs of a mentally unshakable man. Let's level up. Sign number 1. The power of a clean, absolute no. When a high-value man decides to reject an invitation, a social gathering, or a bad business proposal, he does not craft a 10-minute backstory to justify his absence. He doesn't say, "I would love to come, but my car is broken, or my schedule is too busy, or my family needs me." These are the words of a man who is apologizing for his boundaries. A sovereign man simply looks them in the eye and says, "No, I can't make it." Or, "No, that doesn't align with my current focus." No artificial stories, no defensive apologies. He understands that his time is his most valuable, non-renewable asset. If you feel the burning need to explain your no, you are still operating from a psychological prison of fear. You are afraid of conflict, and you are begging the other person not to be mad at you. Break that chain today. Train yourself to say no, drop the period, and let the silence sit. Sign number 2. Giving people the freedom to misunderstand you. A dangerous, focused man does not waste a single second of his precious life trying to correct rumors, clear his name, or change the opinions of the crowd. The masses love drama, and they love to misunderstand what they cannot emulate. If a former friend, a toxic coworker, or a critic wants to view you as the villain of their story, let them. In fact, encourage them to do so. Your reputation in the minds of mediocre people is absolutely none of your business. Your only business is execution, strategy, and daily growth. While ordinary men are busy losing sleep, typing long paragraphs on social media to defend their honor, the alpha is in the dark, building his empire, making money, and sharpening his blade. Winners do not debate with spectators. Let them talk, let them judge, and let them think whatever helps them sleep at night while you remain completely detached and out of their reach. Sign number 3. Moving in absolute, predatory silence. Low-status individuals have a desperate addiction to early applause. The moment they think of a new business idea or decide to start going to the gym, they instantly broadcast it to the world. They want the cheap dopamine hit of people telling them, "Good job," before they have even broken a single sweat. This is a scientific trap. When you announce your goals, your brain mistakes the talking for doing and your drive plummets. A high-status man operates like a ghost. He speaks exclusively in results. He doesn't tell you he is working out, he just shows up 6 months later with a physical frame that commands immediate respect. He doesn't talk about his new financial venture or his late-night grinds, he simply shows you the execution, the contracts, and the ultimate success. Never telegraph your next move to a world that thrives on watching you fail. Work in the shadows, let your progress be quiet, and let your final victory make all the noise. Sign number 4. Owning your failures and mistakes without a single word of blame. True masculinity is defined by radical, unapologetic accountability. When a high-status man fails a project, loses money, or makes a wrong strategic decision, he does not point fingers. He doesn't blame the collapsing economy, he doesn't blame his upbringing, he doesn't blame his luck, and he certainly doesn't make excuses to save face in front of others. Making excuses is a public confession of weakness. Instead, an unshakable man looks directly into the mirror, takes full, brutal ownership of the disaster, and fixes it in complete darkness. He doesn't look for sympathy, and he doesn't explain to the world why things went wrong. He internalizes the lesson, adapts his strategy, and rebuilds his strength. Taking absolute responsibility for everything that happens in your perimeter is the highest, most respectable form of personal power. As we close this chapter, remember this rule for the rest of your life. You do not owe anyone an explanation for how you live your life, how you make your money, or how you build your body. Your life is your private enterprise, not a democracy. You are the sole chairman of the board. Own your path, execute your vision, and never apologize for standing tall. If you are ready to stop justifying your existence and start dominating your reality, subscribe to Alpha Mastery right now.